Hey my friends, it is Kaylin here at Full Purpose and Heart, and it is another curriculum video. This video we're going to talk about our kindergarten curriculum that we have selected for the 2017-2018 school year. And I'm going to share with you not only what I have selected, but what the purchase included, as well as why I selected it. And I'm going to tell a little bit about how I went about choosing what I chose. There's a couple of questions about how do I go about choosing curriculum that I'll answer from my perspective, and hopefully it'll kind of help you understand a little bit, or if you're on the journey of trying to find curriculum for yourself and you're you're on your first run of homeschooling like we are, then hopefully my experiences might be some information for you to help you along your road. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, there is so much that you can talk about when you're talking about curriculum. And in fact, I may even make some additional videos about how to approach or attack the great feat or the great task of choosing curriculum for yourself. This is our first year teaching kindergarten in our home. It's probably, I'm going to say, our second year homeschooling, because we homeschooled my son during his third year, or when he was 3 for preschool, and then when he was 4 we homeschooled him preschool, and then halfway through that year we bumped up to some kindergarten curriculum because he had graduated all of the preschool material. So anyway, so that's where we are now, and we're going to start a full kindergarten curriculum. So let me start with our core subjects. There's a lot of different methods or ways that you can choose, but I chose kind of an eclectic curriculum, meaning that I didn't buy everything just from one publisher. I kind of pick and chose. I think I have 3 different curriculum publishers represented in our curriculum. Okay, so let's start with math. For both our math and our English, we're going to be using the Horizons kindergarten curriculum, and I know that this shows up backwards on the video, so I apologize for that, but this is what it looks like. It comes with, as you may know if you have watched other videos, it comes with 2 student manuals, which are here, and then it comes with a teacher's manual as well. I chose to get the teacher's manual, and in planning and starting my planning, I'm glad that I did, because it really does help me get some ideas of what I'm going to be doing instruction-wise before we actually start the worksheets. And yeah, it's very it's very worksheet oriented. It's not very hands-on oriented. I was saying. Okay, so they are worksheet based, or workbook based. It's not like a hands-on curriculum. I know that some other things out there like Math UC are very like manipulative based curriculum, where this is just a workbook, but I have decided that I can create my own manipulatives. So cost-wise, I did purchase this from, I didn't actually buy it from the publisher. I bought it from, now rainbowresource.com is what it's called. And so I believe the workbooks were about $18 to $20 a piece, and the teacher's manual I think was about $35, I'm gonna say. The whole, I got shipping for free, and the whole thing was about $70. So I don't know if the math adds up for that for 2 workbooks and the teacher's manual. But anyway, now it'll kind of give you an idea of what I paid for that. They were on sale, but it wasn't like a huge sale. Usually I think the workbooks are about $20 a piece from the publisher. So that's what I've selected for that. We are also doing Horizons for English, and they look like this. They come in 4 books or 4 sections. So each book has a teacher's manual, a student workbook. This is the teacher's guide. And then it has a student book that goes with it, and then it also has a reader that goes along with it. So they're all color-coded. So this is the first books. Books 2 are yellow. Books 3 are red. And then book 4 is this teal blue color. So this was a lot more expensive than the math because I did purchase the kit. It came with materials I don't need, but just so you know, if you're interested, this is a whiteboard that comes with it. It does come with a marker here, and it has magnets on the back. So if you want to magnetize it to your whiteboard that you have in your classroom or chalkboard or whatever it is, then you can have it for the student to practice their penmanship on. It also comes with this poster, which the publisher says you can cut it up and make it into a puzzle, but you know, whatever. So anyway, this is just an alphabet poster with all of the alphabet on it, which I will actually just put up on the wall in my classroom. Let me see, is that all? That's all that it comes with in the kit. So it comes in this box. So it stores really nice when you're not teaching whatever books you're not teaching. You can just put them up in your closet or up on your shelf, wherever you're storing your curriculum, and it's really nice. So anyway, so let me tell you a little bit why I chose the Horizons material. First, I'll tell you the cost of it. I purchased this during their month of April, and during the month of April, Alpha and Omega has a sale where all of their materials are 20% off. Might even be 30, but anyway, regardless. So that's when I purchased it, was when they were on sale. So I think that the whole thing was about $120. But this encompasses all of my English language arts. So I'm including writing. Some writing will go in this, and then I'll also have reading, because we'll read those books. As then, of course, everything will be supplemented, which I'll show you in the future in just a few minutes. But anyway. So why did I choose Horizons? I chose it because it was comprehensive. I feel like now that I've looked at it a little bit, it's a very accelerated program, and so we may or may not finish it. I'll have to kind of update you as we begin our school year. And I also chose it because the work pages are very colorful, and I, as the teacher, like color. I think that's nice. I liked how the math lessons are just one page front and back for each lesson. The English lessons are 2 to 3 pages front and back, so it could turn into 4 or 6 pages for the lesson. So just kind of depending on the concept and what we're understanding, we may or may not finish the entire lesson in one day. I'll have to do another video about how I planned out our school year, just otherwise this video is going to be very long. Anyway, so those are going to be our core subjects. We've chosen to do the Horizons curriculum. For our Bible section, I searched the internet to try to find something that was going to work for us and that I wanted. I have been building my own curriculum for so many years and never finishing anything because it just is so hard to build curriculum. I respect publishers and people who write their own curriculum. It is really difficult. Anyway, so for this one, I have selected the 1 year of daily devotionals. This is published by Word of Life, local church ministries, and it was like, I think it was $12 to order it, so it wasn't very expensive, and it has 365 days, which we won't use in the full school year because I'll just do it on school days, which it was built for like an every morning. As you can see, they're really colorful pages. It has a passage at the top that you can read. I've gone through all of them and selected a few additional passages, and that's, if you can see, it's written in pencil here on this side, of other references that I could use if I want to or whatever. Anyway, and then it has a section here that says I Can Know, where the publisher has written a little sentence or 2 sentences to kind of explain what we can learn from the scripture or what God wants us to behave or what we can adapt into our lives. The section here is called the I Can Learn section, and it typically is just a basic kindergarten skill. So there is some adding, there's some sequencing that happens. This particular one is to circle all of the birds. It's like a little hunt and find and trace the number 5 because there are 5 birds. Anyway, they're all really kind of varied and different. And then this bottom one here is I Can Pray, and it just has a sentence kind of about just to remind the kids something that they can pray for so their prayers are not repetitive. And it just kind of gives a good discussion base, and you can then open your schoolroom or your school day with a prayer. I liked these because A, they were colorful, B, it was relatively inexpensive, and C, because it's quick. Our scripture time in the morning is usually very brief, and I just don't need to have a lot of time, I guess you could say, because we use scripture time in our family a few times during the day. We also read them at night together as a family. So I just wanted something that we can integrate and have a conversation as a part of our school day, and this is really gonna fit the bill just perfect. This is all Bible references, and you can use your own Bible that you have at home. So whatever version of the Bible, we have the King James Version in our home. So so it's convenient in that way that you can read just from your own Bible. Okay, I have a couple other books here. These are some books that I got from the publisher Carson DeLosa. I don't know, maybe I said that wrong. Anyway, Carson DeLosa has a billion things that you can buy, and I've invested more money in their company this season than I probably should have. But I really got interested in these what do they call them? Interactive notebooks. And I've seen some of them online, and there are some people who have created them themselves. I have started creating an alphabet one for my preschool aged kids, and I run a preschool out of my home as well. I teach some of the neighborhood kids their preschool concepts, and so I've begun building one just for the alphabet. But then I went ahead and invested in these because they're of a kindergarten level, and it's going to cover our science as well. So I'll show you that in just a second. So if you haven't heard of an interactive notebook, an interactive notebook is where you purchase just either a composition notebook or a spiral binder. And I'm waiting for the school sales to come up so I can get a bunch of those spiral binders for a good price. And that you can kind of see the picture here on the cover. You then make a copy of the page that they have on the inside here, and you discuss that topic. And the student can color it, and then they cut certain pieces of it, and then those flaps go up, and then they either write under it, or there are things that you can paste under it. Let me see if I can find one here that's a good example. Well, this isn't a great example, and the words are backwards, but you can get the idea where you cut up it, and then you lift the flap, and the student draws a jet. So they trace the word pen, lift the flap, draw a pen. So anyway, this one is going to be for our English. This is just another example of what they have here. These are for words. What is this? Word families. Anyway, so it lifts up, and then you can draw a picture of what's underneath. And sometimes they have pages that you can paste. And the other thing that they have here that is really great is this reflect.
No, Mike.
Okay, can you go sit down over there? No, you're not going to be in the movie. Okay. This is just an additional thing that you can have your student do. So you have the activity and the pasting on one side of your notebook, and then on the other side of the notebook, you can have your student do something else. And so this says, have students draw 3 large flowers, have the students write a word family in the center of the flower. The students should write words from each word family on the flower petals. Anyway, I love that it just gives you an idea of an additional activity that you can do. So this, I got one for language arts. I got one for math. Just a minute, we've got little hands getting into everything. Okay, don't play with that. Thank you. Okay, so then we have one for math here. Kind of goes through all the math stuff. And then, honey, I can't have you. Okay, hold please. Okay, so the last one that I got here is going to be our science. And this is going to be the comprehensive science materials that we're going to actually be covering this school year, along with whatever supplements I can get for the unit. So when we do the plants unit, we're going to be talking about apples, and then we'll talk about pumpkins and that sort of thing, and the life cycle of those types of plants. And then there are a couple, I believe there are 3 pages, there's maybe even 4 pages that talk about like plant life. So first you talk about what is alive and what's not alive. You talk about what does a plant need, and then it talks about how do plants grow, and then it has one that's parts of a flower. Anyway, as we begin doing this curriculum, I will make a video to kind of show you how it comes together and how we're using it in our schoolroom. But just as a curriculum video, I'm just showing you kind of a brief overview of what I've selected. Okay, so for social studies, I actually don't have something physical that I can show you what I'm doing, but I got it off of Teachers Pay Teachers. It's a shop called Karen Jones, and she has created an entire social studies curriculum for her kindergarten classes, and she teaches, I believe, I'm assuming it's public school, but her whole entire curriculum was $15, and they have, well, per unit. So I think I purchased 4 units. She has a unit on community. She has a unit on the nation, I think. Anyway, America. Anyway, I've purchased 4 and I've forgotten them all, but I'll put the link to her shop below. They're called, she calls them Little Thinkers units. And they're going to be great because it comes with PowerPoints, it comes with little books that you make with the kids, and then it comes with like review, assessment worksheets, I guess you could say, that you do at the end of the lesson, as well as an assessment for the end of the whole unit. And it really does touch on all of those standards that our state holds for history. Okay, the last thing that I want to show you that I've purchased for our curriculum for next year are, this is also from Carson DeLosa. Anyway, and this is their kindergarten thinking mats, and they were on sale for $5 when I purchased them. They're typically $25, so they were about 80% off. And these are kind of like file folder games, but a little different, because they're already made and they're a lot smaller. So anyway, this is, you have this here, and this is a pick a present, and it tells the directions on the front, and then the game is on the inside. And then these are what you would, they're all perforated, so you would tear them apart and you can laminate them or not, you know, depending on how much use you expect it to be getting. Anyway, so then it gives you the directions. It says yellow shape of an ice cream cone. So then you would put the yellow triangle on top of the correct shape. So kind of, this is the end of the box, and at the beginning of the box, they're a little bit more basic skills. I'll show you this one. These are fried eggs. And it's the directions is put the number on the mat and then you show with the number of eggs. So here's your frying pan, and then you put a number on the plate, and then you put the number of eggs in the frying pan, and then you can check your child's work, and it's just kind of that recognition, simple math recognition. So anyway, I got that because I thought it would be kind of a fun, something that he can do while I'm busying myself with what some of the other preschool aged students are doing. So anyway, that as a whole is what I've selected for my curriculum. Now, how I went about planning for the next school year, I'm going to do a different video on that. And I'll also show you a little bit more in depth of what the curriculums look like. Just in case you haven't seen them before, then I will give you my take on them and what kind of I'm excited about and why I chose them. And then, I'm sorry, now my hands are busying myself with this little like Mickey toy I found on the floor. Anyway, so that's kind of where we're going to go from there. And then I will also, as the year progresses, I will go ahead and show you how the curriculum is going, and then I'll do a review at the end, because sometimes these curriculum videos at the beginning are helpful because you can see what people have chosen. But then at the end, you're like, well, how did it go? And you want to know kind of if it worked out and what a review of that curriculum is. So at the end of 2018, I'll go ahead and give you that review. So anyway, hopefully you found this informational and helpful. Those of us that don't really know a lot about curriculum or can't go out and touch it with our hands and talk to publishers, hopefully this encompassing view would be helpful for you. So anyway, if you have questions, leave them in the comments below. Again, in the description box below, I will put all of the links that you can find the curriculums that I have chosen. And if you liked this video, you can give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done it already, because as the school years are progressing, I post lots of videos about how our school year is going and that sort of thing. So anyway, thanks so much for chatting with us, and we will talk to you another time.